We are taking you into the news right now with the Fox 45 news feed. It's 11 a.m. Shocking video right here shows students standing in the middle of the aisle of a crowded school bus, how the district is working to address a driver shortage, and what's being done to keep kids safe. And a new plot twist, Baltimore City police are pushing back against claims from a TV production crew that producers were threatened and extorted while filming in Baltimore City. The story made national headlines, but now it appears it may be just as fictional as the fictional show that's being filmed. And topping your national news, Mississippi's capital city without safe drinking water. Residents even being told not to brush their teeth with it. How long it could be before safe water is running again. Fox 45 News Midday starts right now.
Live from WBFF in Baltimore, this is Fox 45 News Midday.
Thanks so much for joining us for Fox 45 News Midday. I'm Shannon Lilly. Students and families in Maryland are experiencing the consequences of a nationwide bus driver shortage firsthand. In Anne Arundel County, shocking video shows students standing in the aisle of a moving school bus. Olivia Dance has reaction from parents and the school.
The video is causing outrage among parents, and it shows students standing in the aisle and sitting on laps while the bus is moving. We'll go ahead and pull that video up for you now to give you a closer look. Currently in the district, more than 40 bus routes are out of service because of the bus driver shortage. One parent says she reached out to her school's transportation specialist, who said they're aware of the issue and making adjustments. They also told her the bus's capacity is 69 students, so, quote, they are not out of compliance with the law.
It's a safety situation and for everybody involved. Or are we talking about 69 elementary school children? Because there's clearly a different size when you're trying to figure that out using a matrix.
Parents say besides the lack of bus drivers, Anne Arundel County Schools' new delayed start times are also the issue. And now more than a dozen parents are filing an appeal with the state asking for new start times to be delayed until all buses can arrive on time. The district has 20 days to respond to the appeal, and they also declined to answer any of the questions that Fox 45 News asked. I'm Olivia Dance, Fox 45 Midday.
Thanks, Olivia. Well, Anne Arundel County is not the only school system seeing school bus issues because of that driver shortage. In Baltimore County, some parents said their children's buses were hours late on the very first day. That was Monday. Others say their child's bus didn't come at all. School leaders say parents should check school bus assignments and schedules on the online portal. In Baltimore City, it will be another half day for students at schools with no air conditioning after releasing early the first 2 days of school. The city says that will continue for the entire week. And that means kids at nearly 24 schools have yet to have a full day of class. You can find a full list of the school's closings early on our website at foxbaltimore.com. Fox 45 News is your back-to-school headquarters, and we are committed to investigating any problems your kids run into this year, from a lack of AC, the bus driver shortage, and the teacher shortage. Call our news tip line right here, 410-467-5595. You can also send us an email right there at news@foxbaltimore.com, or chime in your pictures and videos on the Fox 45 News app. Here's our look at today's top trending stories. Trending number one, a new plot twist. Baltimore City police are pushing back against claims from a TV production crew that producers were threatened and extorted while filming here in Baltimore City. Police sources with knowledge of the investigation say claims made by Lady in the Lake crew members are filled with dramatic discrepancies at best and purely fabricated at worst. The allegations began Friday. Police saying a crew member claimed they were threatened by an armed person who demanded $50,000. But now police say they've determined it was actually a street vendor. They say the man was asking about paperwork to recoup lost wages due to production shutting down his business. Crew members later recanted their story about the extortion, and police say mention of a gun was secondhand. For now, no charges have been filed against anyone with the production company. Crazy. Well, trending number 2, new overnight, a 59-year-old man is shot to death. It happened just before 11 last night at a home in West Baltimore. Police found the man inside a home on Edgemont Avenue. He'd been shot in the chest and he died at the scene. The shooting marks the 238th killing of this year. That's 14 more than this time last year. Non-fatal shootings are also up. There have been 504 this year. That's 51 more than this time last year. Trending number 3, an investigation is underway after Baltimore firefighters pulled a body from the Inner Harbor. Crews discovered the body around 6 o'clock near Pier 6. The identity of that person has not yet been determined, and it's unclear how they may have ended up in the water. This is the second time this month a body has been discovered in the harbor. Trending number 4, a big recall to tell you about, and it's specifically impacting Marylanders. Pizza John's is recalling more than 150,000 pounds of frozen pizzas because they weren't properly inspected, and they haven't been properly inspected for more than 2 years. According to a notice posted by the U.S. Department of Agriculture's Food Safety and Inspection Service, the take and bake pizzas didn't undergo the proper federal inspections. The recall includes Pizza John's Bake at Home 12 and 16-inch pepperoni pizzas, and the affected products were distributed across Maryland from March 2020 through July of this year. If you do have one of these pizzas, you should throw it away or you can return it. Well, still ahead, a new trend is taking over the coffee world, but would you try it is the question. Why some are putting eggs in their coffee. I don't know for me. But first, was it a mistake or something worse, where investigators are trying to figure out how a cleaning solution was served to a nursing home patient, leading to her death? And high school students have a new AP course they can take this year. We'll look at the curriculum in the Advanced Placement course on African American Studies.
Well, we are definitely going to see some drier air moving into the area, and temperatures today will be slightly cooler. We're going to be staying dry, however, as we head into the weekend, so not much rain on the way heading toward your holiday. Here's a look at your hour-by-hour forecast. Low to mid and upper 80s. Those numbers climbing today, a lot closer to where we are typically this time of year for the final day of August. Should top out right about 87. Overnight lows into the 60s and back to the upper 80s again on Thursday. We're back with your full forecast in just a few minutes.
Fox 45 News, winner of 17 2022 Regional Emmy Awards, more than all other Baltimore news stations combined.
Topping world news, a solemn anniversary. Today marks 25 years since Princess Diana's death. She was being chased by the paparazzi in Paris when her driver crashed into a tunnel, killing the 36-year-old. Diana married Prince Charles to heir to the throne, of the British throne, in 1981. The couple divorced, but she continued her philanthropic work and doted on sons Princes William and Harry. A quarter of a century later, she is still remembered, and so many of us remember that exact moment, that exact day when she did pass away. Taking a look now at your social stream. With the start of the new year comes new classes, and 60 high schools across the U.S., including one right here in Baltimore, are now offering advanced placement courses on African American studies. The College Board announced the pilot program in February. Now, the curriculum will be an interdisciplinary look at the history of civil rights. It will also cover African American music, literature, and science. The course is being offered at dozens of schools nationwide. Among those offering the AP class, Baltimore Polytechnic Institute. So Brian here is tweeting that this is the first time in AP history. This is long overdue, and I envy and salute the students who get to take AP African American Studies. But then we have WM, who has a different take. He says, I've taken courses on Jewish and African American history in college, but I'm concerned that the AP African American courses will be used to propagate a bigoted CRT model and be seen as a replacement for general U.S. history in heavily progressive areas. A growing crisis in Jackson, Mississippi. More than 150,000 people are on the hunt for drinkable water, and the city's main water treatment facility failed earlier this week. Mississippi's governor says there's no guarantee there's enough running water to fight fires or even to flush toilets. He says the water they do have is unsafe for Jackson residents to drink or even to use to brush their teeth. The state's emergency management agency says more than 4,000 National Guard members are coming in to help distribute bottled water. Just a scary situation. Some crazy video we were looking at there, too. Torin here says Mississippi received $429 million last year in federal infrastructure funds, specifically for water lines and pipes. And I'm wondering what we did with all that. And that is a good point. And then we have Brittany here, who it looks like she's right in the thick of it. She says no running water in Jackson. The heat index is 102 degrees. Schools and universities are closed. No way to cook, clean, bathe. This is capital city and the biggest city in Mississippi. My goodness, my thoughts are with everyone there enduring that right now. And in California, police are investigating after a 93-year-old woman died when she was served dishwashing soap instead of juice. It happened at a senior center in San Mateo. Right now, police say they don't think it was an intentional act, but it's unclear how the drink was swapped or contaminated. 2 other residents got sick. The facility says it's conducting an internal investigation, and the employees involved have been suspended for the time being. Just such a tragic situation. We have JB here saying dementia patients are often at risk of self-poisoning. Wonder if it was another patient who poured the drinks. But you think that they would be watched, though, and make sure that that doesn't happen. Nathan here tweets, as a nurse, there is no way this is a mistake. I know this is going to be investigated. This is too shady. Still ahead, Elon Musk thinks he's found a new way to get out of his $44 billion Twitter deal, his new attempts to avoid making the purchase. But first, new COVID boosters now authorized. Still ahead, what makes these boosters different? It's 11:13. You're watching Fox 45 News, Midday. Turning to the path forward, updated COVID-19 boosters will be rolling out after they were just authorized about an hour ago by the Food and Drug Administration. The emergency authorization of the boosters are for Pfizer and Moderna's updated boosters. The shots are formulated to protect against the original coronavirus strain plus the Omicron BA.5 variant, which is currently the dominant strain in the United States. The NBA is updating COVID protocols to require weekly testing for unvaccinated staff and players. There are exceptions to the mandate, like if an unvaccinated person recently recovered from COVID-19. For those who are vaccinated, though, testing typically won't be required. Masks will be suggested for cities with high transmission levels. Making headlines, some good news on the economic front. Consumer confidence is growing after 3 straight months of decline. U.S. consumer confidence rebounded in August as inflation slowed. And rising home prices are slowing. Prices rose in June, but did so at a slower pace than previous months. The latest Case-Shiller Home Price Index shows home prices are up 18.6% annually in June. That's down from nearly a 20% increase in May. Now, while home prices may be slowing, rent prices are soaring to a new record. The median national one-bedroom rent stands at $1,486. That's up almost 12% from last August. Most cities are seeing double-digit increases. Rent in New York will set you back $4,212 just in 1 month. That's for a one-bedroom apartment in Manhattan. Just crazy. Well, Elon Musk thinks he's found a new way to get out of his $44 billion Twitter deal. In a legal filing Tuesday, Musk cited a complaint from a whistleblower arguing Twitter misled regulators about its poor cybersecurity defenses. That's on top of a past filing citing that the company's lack of transparency regarding the number of spam accounts on the platform. In a separate SEC filing, Twitter dismisses the complaint, arguing it contains inconsistencies and inaccuracies. Democratic candidate for Governor Wes Moore says he wants to get squeegee kids off the streets, why he will most likely face opposition from the mayor's office. A shortage of bus drivers already putting students in Anne Arundel County in dangerous situations. At 5, how the district is addressing this video showing students standing in a crowded bus. Baltimore police now say reports of a film crew threatened by an armed person downtown is false. At 6, we asked the department if they're considering any changes. You can get Fox 45 News in a flash through your Amazon, Alexa, or Echo. We now deliver your local headlines and your forecast in less than 2 minutes. If you have an Amazon device, just tell it to enable Fox 45 Baltimore. Trending today, Barbie is releasing a new doll, and this one honors the first self-made female millionaire in America. Madam C.J. Walker achieved enormous success by founding a line of hair care products and cosmetics designed for Black women. You can see the doll is even holding her original product, Wonderful Hair Grower. The doll is the latest addition to Barbie's Inspiring Women series. Well, Mark Clark with Be More Lifestyle is here now. Mark, I'm not sure how many Barbies you played with as a kid, but this is awesome.
This really is awesome. The dolls were players, so I am very familiar with dolls.
You are, okay.
Now, you know what? I have to shout out, it's weird. I mean, I think this is great because I think it allows kids to learn a piece of history.
Absolutely. And the thing is, I feel like we grew up playing with a certain type of doll, and it was all about what the doll looked like. And now I just love that they are pulling women who have done inspiring things, and that just, inspires the kids who play with the dolls as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think in a lot of, we're in these interesting times. I think a lot of it probably is growth, right? We're a young country. Yep. And I think a lot of things are being changed or challenged or flipped on their sides. And so I think you're right. I think Barbie, that on one hand, for many was a problem, is now, we can say, opening and maybe changing things. So, hey, this is a step in the right direction.
A step in the right direction, exactly. And seeing, these kids that get to play with this doll, it's not just about, all right, here's what she looks like. It's here's what she did, and I can do that too. And we're kind of changing the narrative and what little girls should aspire to be. I just think that's That's awesome.
Definitely. Thanks so much. And you're right. And again, especially when we're talking about, like you say, women and that whole thing of what you just said. This is what you need to look like versus who you are. So
Who you are.
awesome.
Yes. Good way to put it. Thanks, Mark.
Thank you.
Well, you probably heard those overnight storms here at home, and that means nice, cooler temperatures for us now. But conditions were a little bit worse for those to our north. Meteorologist Justin Chambers shows us the storms over Rhode Island.
Thunderstorms all across the country, including in Rhode Island. Look at that amazing shot of that towering cumulus cloud, the cumulonimbus cloud. You can actually see some of the rain and the rain shaft right there. That became more of a rotating supercell as we saw into that part of the country. But overall, we are seeing nice dry conditions here. We had the cold front that came through last night and actually brought some rain and even some thunderstorms for some of us. But the drier air is back in behind that front now, and temperatures that will be slightly cooler. Still in the 80s. It's still summertime, but a lot less humidity, and we're going to be staying dry as we head into the weekend. So for your splash cast, you can see your UV index still in that high category, but overall a great day to hang by the pool, maybe getting your last couple of pool days in before we get back into that routine and getting into school time. 85 is typically where we are this time of year. Most of us in the low to mid 80s for Bel Air and Elkton out to the Eastern Shore and Chestertown. 87 in Baltimore City, 85 in Annapolis, and 84 in Columbia. And keeping those mid to upper 80s up and down the 95 corridor for DC and Baltimore up into Philly. 86 in Ocean City, and 81 your temp in Cumberland this afternoon. And speaking of the Ocean City cast, you're down the ocean cast. A lot of folks wrapping the summer up at the beach for the Labor Day weekend right around the corner. Talking about mid 80s, great beach weather. In fact, even cooler on Friday. So that should be the good day to be there. And if you want to fly to the beach, we're talking about VFR conditions pilots, visual flight rules all day today. Here's a look at what's going on. Future scan, not a whole heck of a lot. We're talking about dry conditions all the way through the end of the week and into this upcoming weekend, all thanks to our friend, that big H sliding across there. That's that nice ridge of high pressure setting up. All right, here's that 10-day forecast, keeping those temperatures in the mid to upper 80s as we head toward the weekend. It will be a little bit hotter on Sunday with lower 90s returning and more humid as well. And then those 80s will be here for Labor Day and into early next week.
Justin, thanks. Well, still ahead, Snapchat is coming out with a new feature, the new dual camera option the app is rolling out. But first, Uber wants you to feel safe in their cars. The new tech safety feature the rideshare company is debuting. It's 11:22. You're watching Fox 45 News, Midday. is rolling out a new safety feature. Customers will now be able to connect with a live agent from ADT Security. Uber officials say the agent will monitor the entire route. Uber says this can help ease potentially uncomfortable situations like a driver running low on gas or a ride through an unfamiliar neighborhood. Lyft has had this security feature for the past few years. Snapchatters with iPhones can use a new dual camera feature. It allows users to take photos and videos using both the front and the back-facing cameras at the very same time. Very cool. It's similar to the newer photo sharing app Be Real, which also uses both cameras. Snapchatters will be able to select from multiple layout options, windows stacked vertically, side by side, picture-in-picture, or cutout. Android users will also be able to use the feature in just the coming months. All right, well, you could win a 4-pack of tickets to go to the State Fair, the Maryland State Fair. And you just have to watch Fox 45 Morning News for your cue to call and win. On the last day of the Maryland State Fair, Sunday, September 11th, you could meet your favorite Fox 45 News anchors, reporters, and meteorologists. Just make sure you stop by and say hi. We would love to see you. Well, that is all the time we have for Fox 45 News Midday. Be More Lifestyle is up next, and Mark Clark is back to tell us what they're working on. Hey, Mark.
That's right. A young woman's going viral over her reaction. Opening her first paycheck will show you her sweet reaction and tell you how she spends it going forward. That's all coming up on Be More Lifestyle.